As we well know, leasing essentially is a contract. The leasing contract outlines the terms under which one party agrees to rent goods which are owned by it to another party. It guarantees the lessee, that is the user, it can use the asset, and guarantees the lessee or who has taken up this equipment, he will guarantee that he will pay regularly the rent or the lease as per the lease agreement. Now, this is said to benefit both the lessee as well as the lessor. There will be, of course, consequences if one or the other party they default on this. There will be consequences which both sides will have to face simultaneously, since this is a legal contract per se. As far as leasing is concerned, the DAP 2020, it specifies that leasing will be in two categories. One, of course, is leasing Indian, and second is lease global. Now, lease Indian means that the lessor or the company which is leasing this equipment is an Indian company. However, it does not imply that all the asset may be completely owned by that company, but the contract will be signed by the Indian company and ownership may be split between the Indian and the foreign company, and that is where I think the opportunity lies as the leasing as an attractive option as far as the foreign companies are concerned. Of course, where it is a lease global, in this case the lease of equipment is from the foreign company, and this can also be partly from the Indian company. So there is scope in this also for the foreign company to participate in a leasing contract as far as the leasing Indian and as well as the global goes. So this is a very important development as far as leasing is concerned, and I think this will be very beneficial both for the Indian armed forces as well as the Indian and foreign companies, because where the procurement is seen not feasible within the time constraint, this is a very feasible sort of proposition. Where the asset or the capability is required only for a specific time period, again leasing is a good option. Where numbers required are not too large, for example, India's requirement of the aerial refueling aircraft, that requirement is essentially 4 to 6 aircraft. Now, if you procure 6 aerial refuelers, you can imagine you have to establish the complete infrastructure for maintenance, complete infrastructure for spares, ancillary support, etc., which is a time-consuming process. So maybe it can be, this is one case where leasing can be a much more better option. In addition, where lease rentals will be examined by the service as well as the Ministry of Defence, whether leasing is a better option or you want to own the asset. This is a judgment which will have to be made, and a good cost-benefit analysis has to be made in this case, where leasing will be gone in as per the requirement. Leasing can also be undertaken to gain the operational exploitation of a certain equipment. For example, if India was to acquire a certain category of submarine, initially a submarine could be leased. A good example I can see is the leasing of the INS Chakra, or the submarine which has been leased from Russia, nuclear submarine. It is for a 1-year lease which is extended from time to time, and I think so this is a very useful option for gaining experience on a nuclear submarine, and thereafter indigenous submarine can be inducted. And then of course, due to certain operational necessity, if an urgent requirement is there, leasing can be undertaken, and there I think foreign companies have got good options for this purpose.